everyone. Thank you so much. We're delighted we've got so many people today. We're still admitting more, so bear with us. But we really just want to start by thanking you for all joining us and for the interest in this. Just to note that we are recording today. I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Laura Angus. I'm one of the registrars of the UKSC.
I'm Dan Waller, I'm the Programme Transition Lead.
Yeah. And I'm Alicia Jetwell, and I am the Change Manager here.
So if we go to the next slide, please. Yep. We'll start with just a bit of housekeeping. You'll note that you're all muted and your cameras are off. That's just to make things a little bit easier for us. But please feel free throughout the course of the webinar to submit any questions you've got via the chat function. We're absolutely delighted to answer any and all questions you've got where we can. And please feel free to do that. Great, so what we want to address here is really like the highlight and the headlines of what's changing for you as a court user, as a professional user. So what we're doing is in December, we're introducing a two-way interactive portal for users. This will be mandatory professional users for any new case that gets brought to the court after the go live date. So just to be very clear here, if you've got a current case that's already filed and in progress at the court, that will remain off portal, and it will remain subject to the current or the old rules and the old practice directions. And we will be bringing in new rules and new practice directions for these portal cases. So we digitalized most of our forms. We won't be using, Form 1, Form 3 anymore. Most applications, you're brought through a series of screens that ask the relevant questions via the portal. But the good news is that this increases transparency for anyone who's following the progress of cases at the UKSC. There's pretty much real-time live updates from what's going on in the portal, by the case, to our website. So it'll update when, for example, permission to appeal gets granted. So what does this mean for you? You can make payments via the portal in the way that you're used to. You can continue to make payments via bank transfer and then confirm that you've done so in the portal, or you can pay by debit or credit card actually in the portal rather than calling us up, and hoping that the person that you've answered the phone is able to take your payment. So there'll also be all task management, including notification and prompts via the portal, and something new that we will talk you through called electronic service. Again, document management, so all papers will be filed via the portal, and I think you'll probably beginning to get the picture that the portal is very important, and we will be taking you through just filing the PTA, but that will give you a picture of what the portal looks like and how we've designed it. Next slide, please. Okay, so some of the key differences that you will want to note. All documents are required up front. What we mean by that is that when you're filing your permission to appeal or notice of appeal, you'll want to get everything ready. So we haven't changed what we're asking of you, but we're effectively asking you to file your bundle up front. Now, it doesn't, you'll see how we need that, but we need you to get everything ready and filed to us, and then there's no subsequent filing of the PTA bundles. So we thought that was just doubling up the steps, doubling up the work for you, and once we've got those documents, we don't need you to resubmit them. Another thing that's different is that payment must be made in full to submit the application. So when you confirm that payment by electronic transfer has been made, you're not confirming that you will make it, you're confirming that you have made it. Similarly, you can make the payment by credit card or debit card, and if that's how you're going to pay, it takes you to that page and it won't go through to submit the final paperwork until you've made that payment. Now, we have taken account of help with fees, and you can apply for help with fees, and then that application can be considered by the registry, and that obviously will be considered as having made payment. Of course, if the help with fees application is rejected, we will raise a payment for the required amount of money. So this is a big difference. We don't want you to serve on the respondent before you file the papers with us. So we're asking you to go into the portal, file your application, so that whether that be your application for permission to appeal or your notice of appeal, we want you to do that, send that off, you'll get notification that that's gone to the registry, and then wait for the registry to notify you that it's been issued. What we do in registry is we check, we double check we've got all the papers we need, we double check we've got the payment that we asked you for, we check jurisdiction, and then we issue it, we give it a case number, and we say to you, this is now okay to go and get served on the respondent. So there's a concept of first service, new rules, which is where we say to you, yeah, that's been issued, please go away and serve on the respondent. And you download, you'll see this when Dan does his demonstration, you download a PDF of what's been filed with the court. You take your supporting documents that you've uploaded to the court, so that would be a copy of the order you're seeking to appeal, the permission to appeal decision from below, the judgment you're seeking to appeal, your grounds of appeal. So you're familiar with those documents, they're not new. We will serve them in the way that you've been used to serving on the respondent up to now in the litigation. So normally it's by email, when we've got to this stage. So you'll go away, serve on the respondent or respondents, come back into the portal and confirm that you have done so. When you confirm that, and again, Dan will show you this, you confirm how you served and what email address is the best email address for us, then to send an email out to that respondent to join the portal. From then on, the respondent, if they choose to take part, will become a portal party. That's mandatory for professional users. And then everything else in the life of that case will be via electronic service, i.e. everything that happens in that case, every document that gets filed, that a little notification will go out to each party's email that will let you know that something's happened in that case, and then you'll have had service of it. So you don't have to go outside of the portal to serve each other anymore, and you'll just be serving on each other via uploading into the portal. Obviously, to accompany this new portal, we've had new rules. They've now been linked before Parliament, so the link to that is on our website. They're coming into force in December, and we're working extremely hard on getting all the new practice directions out. They're in near formal final form, and we're just working on getting the final review by the justices and out to you as soon as we possibly can. So where can you access information and resources? As I've just mentioned, there are new rules and new practice directions. And I'd like to sort of acknowledge that up to now, the rules and the practice directions have diverged over time. Obviously, this is the first time in 15 years that the rules have been updated. So what I'd like to reassure you is that the rules and the practice directions that we're coming out with are going to be up to date and they're going to make sense. So we ask you to go to those as sort of your first reference documents. We've also written a pretty extensive portal practice direction, and we ask that you read that and really take note of what the guidance is in there, because we've really tried to talk you through the journey of being a portal party. In addition to that, there are lots of frequently asked questions that we've tried to answer that will be available on the website. And in addition to that, there's guidance, for example, how we want papers to be uploaded via the portal. So a whole lot of very, very helpful and very, very up-to-date information will be available to you. We ask of you that you go away and read and digest that information and do that first before you come to registry to ask the questions. We know there'll be questions, and we know there'll be a bit of kind of fear over the first time you're using this, but we do hope that you as professional users will be able to kind of take what we've provided and do all that kind of reading and digesting first before you ask us any of the questions. So next slide, please. And now I'll pass you over to Dan, and we'll talk you through, and really try and give the best, how-to guide of working within the portal.
Good afternoon. All, thank you for joining us. What I'm going to do here, as Laura has mentioned, is take you through a very brief canter summary through the process of lodging a PTA. I'm then going to take you through the process of first service and show how that appears on the respondent as well. Now, the first thing you need to do is obviously sign in or register with the portal. If you already have an account with the portal, you'll be signing in because you've done it before. If you haven't, you click the register button, put your email address in here. You would click send verification code. It would send you a 6-digit verification code, which you would then put in a box that appears. You can then set up a password, put your name in, and create your account. Very similar to the way many other websites work, with just verifying that an email address is a valid one and letting you sign up. I already have an account with a number of dummy cases on it, so I'm going to take you through that now. So I'm sign in, take the screen asking for my email address and my password, which, as with any other website, you can save in your browser, as I've done here. Sign in. It takes you initially to the portal landing page. Brief summary of what you can do in the portal. Apply for permission to appeal, make submissions and payments, correspond to radio cases, look at the progress, and contact the registry information. You have an option up here to access your profile, so you can update your information should you need to. But what we'll go to first off is my cases. Now, when you first come here, this will be blank. You'll see here I have a number of cases here. This is our test server, and I'll be building a lot of cases on here. But what you would want to do in the first instance would be file a new case, which, and we try to make this as clear as we can, the file a new case button. You click on that. The first question it asks is, are you legally represented? Something I should explain about the portal here. We have designed the portal to accommodate as many different journeys as possible. So although for most of you, you'll be following the standard party as representation, you're filing a notice of appeal or a PTA. We've also got this portal to accommodate all such as litigants in person who aren't represented and need help. Something that happens a lot at the moment with our litigants in person, they will file their application with us, pay their fee. We will look at their application, see that we don't have jurisdiction, but we then reject the case, and we then refund their fee. Now, obviously, the person gets their money back in those circumstances, but they still will come up with that fee in the first place. So we've actually introduced a new system, which we're calling the eligibility check. So if they click no, you're not represented, we'll ask them, they want to file something at. You'll see in a moment, this is very similar to your journey. What is it they want to file? Permission to appeal. And it takes them to this eligibility check. And you'll see in a moment when you get to your page how there's more options, because the eligibility check is asking really just for some quite basic summary information. We don't want the level of information we would ask for in a normal application. We just want enough here for us to be able to tell if it's a case we have jurisdiction for. And this is a service we're offering without fee, so that litigants in person can contact us, go through this process without having to fork out money to find out if they do have any jurisdiction to come here. So that's a new process. But obviously, for yourselves, it's going to be following the represented party journey. So I'm going to go back in my case, you can start a fresh filing, but this time select yes, I'm represented. So I'm selecting yes, continue. Think again, you see the question, Supreme Court or Future Committee Privy Council. Think, and again, same question, PTA, Notice of Appeal, reference, or permission to intervene. I'll click PTA, and it will take me to this screen here. Now, as you see here, there are 4 boxes rather than the 2 for the eligibility check, because this is effectively replicating the existing Form 1 process. Now, the way this page looks, will probably be familiar to anybody who's used HMRC's website or DVLA website. We have unashamedly followed and stolen as much government guidance on making a good, accessible website as we can. Something many of you, I'm sure, be aware of. The UK government is regarded around the world as having some of the most accessible, easy to use government websites. And to be blunt, if it ain't broke, we're not going to fix it. So we have stuck with that guidance as much as we can to make it as accessible as possible. We have followed the WCAG 2.2 regulations. Those are the worldwide standards for accessibility. They only came into force a couple of months ago. We were already at those standards for both our portal and for our new website, which will be going live in December. What you would do is click step 1. It will take you to the first page of the form. What I'm going to do now, rather than you sit here and watch me type this in, I'm going to take you to one that in the best tradition of Blue Peter I prepared earlier. That's this one here. It's draft. It's in draft at the moment. Now, first off, you go, if you've already drafted it, you get taken to the actual case summary page. This will be your home page for that case going forward, but I'll show you more details on it in a moment. You go into case details. If I go into the steps, you can see we're actually starting at page 4. The portal remembers information you put in. You don't need to fill the portal in one go. You can fill in the first couple of pages, then you hit appointments of information you want to check. You can just close it, it saves your application, you go away, you come back, you don't have to do it in one sitting. So that's something we were quite keen to introduce. We are aware that whereas with a PDF form, you can pick it up, carry it around the office, scroll on it, it's not that as easy as the web form. So we wanted the same for you. I'm going to take you very quickly through page 4. The reason, I'm going to take you back to the first page. The reason it's saved at page 4 is that's where I got to when I saved this application. And we'll take you back to the first page and take you through the information you need to put in. 90% of the information we're asking for here is exactly the same as the information you're already filling in the Form 1 application. There are a couple of new questions in here, which Laura and I will cover in more detail as we get to them. So we are conscious that on the very outset, the initial application will take slightly longer to fill in than it does at the moment. However, I would like to make clear, because the portal page now has a singular case record, later things such as applications for extension of time, your notice of objection or notice of acknowledgement, single applications, you won't need to fill in a complete form with all the party details anymore, because the portal knows who the party details are. The portal knows who you are. It knows who the representatives are. You're not going to have to put the information in again. So the actual forms for extension of time, notice intention to proceed, notice of objection, notice of acknowledgement are much, much shorter than they are at the moment, because we don't need you to repeat the information in. We're going through, first off, the court you're appealing from, who are the judges, questions we ask at the moment. Is this a criminal case? Yes, no. The reason for this question here is one of the functions of the portal. The portal works out fees for you. So you don't need to cross-reference to the legislation on our website for what a fee is for a case. Of course you are free to do that, to double check. But when you get to the payment stage of this, depending on the answers you put in earlier on, it will show you the appropriate fee. And a function that doesn't appear here, but does appear on the Judicial Committee and Privy Council section portal, where you, for JCPCs, the fees are different depending on the value of the claim. There's 3 tiers, and when you identify in this portal what the level of the fee is, it works out the appropriate fee for that level of claim. So it's really doing the work for you. Criminal cases are 0 rated, so putting in a yes here means the fee will be zero. I would stress, however, and I'm sure no one's going to do this, you can't just get around paying a fee by saying it's a criminal case. If we look at it and then, well, it's not a criminal case, we will be raising a payment request. Next question, are you applying to cross appeal? And if so, please give us the case number so we know what case to apply to cross appeal. The date of the order being appealed, the date of the order refusing permission, neutral citation, the date of the hearing. Again, these are all pieces of information that we ask for at the moment. This is a new one, a brief description of what side of the order. I've just put some texting and not just at the moment, just so Laura will now explain the thinking behind this question.
We don't want anyone to spend too much time worrying about this, and we don't want any controversy about this. This is truly, we just want the actual decision. So normally if you're coming from an appeal court, it will be appeal dismissed, appeal allowed, and any subsequent part of the order. But please don't spend any time trying to write submissions in here. We just want to be able to see at a glance, in the information here that's filed, what are you seeking to appeal, what happened below.
Okay, next question is, what do you ask the court to do in relation to the order you're appealing, set aside or vary? Take back the original order, again, questions we already asked. Next one, short summary of the facts of the case. This is a new question.
So again, in testing, there was a little bit of anxiety around this question. Again, we really want you to be as factual as possible. Please don't start putting submissions in here. You know, what started this litigation? So any agreed facts or anything set out in the first couple of paragraphs of the judgment is probably quite helpful. But you know, there was a judicial review brought following the regulations that were introduced on X date, judicial review brought on the grounds that XYZ, appeal allowed on XYZ grounds, and then whatever your grounds of appeal might be. You know, in summary, whether the Secretary of State exceeded his powers. So, you know, very brief, in summary, please don't worry too much about this and don't spend too much time here.
As you'll see, there is a hyperlink to a couple of examples of the case summary. I won't click on that because that link is to our new website, which is live yet, so it's not actually going to work. The next question, please provide keywords to assist the court in indexing. This is a question we ask at the moment, and it literally is just keywords on the case. Okay, next page, it's asking about anonymity, or if the case is dealing with urgently. I can explain the reason why anonymity is one of the very early questions on this. As most of you will be aware, on our current website, cases only get a detailed summary and a page, if they go to hearing. Our PTA decisions, those which are granted or refused, are published once a month as a list. So once I go on our website, see what's been granted that month, and see if the wider interest is there. Going forward, and this will be on all cases filed on the portal, so not on past cases, all cases are going to have a web page. Cases that don't go beyond PTA stage will have a very small site page on our website. In cases that go to hearing, judgment, etc., will have much larger pages, but the information is going up at the point of issue. So we need to know very early on if there are any anonymity considerations. Now, obviously, one thing you will upload as part of application are the judgment from the lower court. So we will be able to see there, if from a case name, if there has been anonymity. But if for some reason anonymity wasn't applied for before, which does sometimes happen, but it's needed with us, please identify it here. And to be clear as well, if you are the appellant, you should say here. If, however, the respondent needs anonymity, anonymity of the court below, we would ask the appellant who has been to highlight that back here. So you can either, they say you've got three options. You can either apply for an order of anonymity, apply to extend the existing order that was made earlier proceedings, or just tell us no, an order's not needed. Here I'm clicking no. If you do either of the yes, we ask you some details here and to upload the order later on. The next question is, does it need dealt with urgently. This is what we previously referred to as expedition. One of the things we've done with Portal is we have tried to go to plain English as much as possible, because we've said that the person will be using this, we want to make it as accessible as possible. So we have tried to remove any complex legal language as much as we can. So we've gone with urgency rather than expedition. Laura will go into more details on this, but this should only be selected if there is a real valid reason for urgency, remembering that if urgency/expedition is granted in a case, you do lose things like the rights to agree dates, because if it's urgent, it's urgent.
Yeah, so I just want to have a health warning on this, and it, you don't see it very often with professional users, but to tick this box when truly there's no urgency, the kind of urgency we see in the Supreme Court, is right to life cases, and it's truly life or death. So just bear that in mind. Of course, we've also had very big litigation, and you can use your discretion is what I mean. But don't overuse that urgency button is my advice to you.
I think actually those are the only two questions on that page. We have tried to group similar type questions together, so you know what to expect on each page. Page 3 is consideration direct appeal. Are you receiving legal aid? So give us the number. Do you need to apply for extension of time? So why have you previously been granted extension of time? So only 3 questions on this page, quite straightforward. I haven't filled in the next page, or because I want to show you something of the functionality here. I'm going to say for incapacity, no. I'm going to say no, it's not under evolution jurisdiction. I'm not asking to apart from a Supreme Court or House of Lords question. I'm not asking to refer question to Court of European Union. I'm not going to answer this last question, and I'm going to click continue. It will not let you go past if you miss out anything that's mandatory. There are some fields in the form that are optional, and when they're optional, they say they're optional, but everything else is mandatory, so there needs to be an answer here. So if you have missed something, it takes you back up to the top of the page and says which question it is needs filling in. So I will go down, I'll just click no. Continue. Excuse me. And it's taken me to page 5. Now, page 5, this is a new thing. This is the chronology of proceedings, which Laura will speak to briefly now as I fill it in. And so you can see on screen what you put in. Laura will explain why we're asking for it.
So this is just helpful for the court to see at a glance any of the substantive decisions that have led us to where we are now. So you don't need to put in every case management decision, unless they're the subject of the appeal. But please just pop in, decision at first instance, who granted permission to appeal for that first decision, when the appeal decision was. It gives us a flavour of, how long has this litigation been around? Has it been back and forth between appeal court and lower court? We just really like to be able to see at a glance what's happened in these proceedings. Again, don't drive yourself mad. It's not meant to distress or stress anyone out. It's really just for our information.
And as you see from the bottom, the films building there are quite straightforward questions. The name of the court, the judgment date, the neutral citation number, if one exists. As you see, as I mentioned earlier, this is an optional field, so it's indicated as such. When the hearing was, regarded were a brief description, and if appropriate, the order refusing or granting permission. And one, the last, is an optional one. As you said, applicable, so I can leave that blank. Click complete. That's one of the hearings, and then click add again, add any other hearings that took place in the live case. For this example, I'm going to stop at 1 because we don't need to put any more than that in. I click complete. And you'll see that step 1 is done. It's green, there's a tick, it's finished. Because you haven't submitted you can go back and edit this information. It's not locked until point of submission. So if you put something in, you weren't 100% sure, but you wanted to get the rest of the case information in and come back later, you can do that. This here is exporting copy application. I'll show you this in a minute when I put more information. But this serves two purposes. One, it enables you to download a copy of the application as a PDF, which you can then print. So if, for example, we know that on a number of occasions it's quite likely to be an outdoor clerk or a relative junior member of a firm who's actually filling this in rather than senior partner, they can extract the information, show it to senior partner for verification or anything that needs checking. The second thing is, once the case has been issued, Laura mentioned at first service, you would download a copy of the application and serve that in first service with the support documentation. It would be this that you would download, and I'll show you once we actually get to the point of submission. The next option is entering the party details. You can enter parties as individuals or organisations. As you will see, I have done an excessive number of cases on system, and I've run out of unique names for them, which is why I'm down to Butch Cassidy and Son Upskill as the parties in the case. To add individuals as parties, you would click add an individual or you add an organisation. I'm going to take you through view because it actually takes you the same steps for one you've already put in. So viewing Butch, you can see title's optional, what's the first name, the role, in this case the appellant. If there is more than one appellant or respondent, we'd just like to know, so I'll scroll back up, where they are in litigation. We appreciate the majority of our cases, it's one appellant, one respondent, but sometimes there are multiple parties on one side, so this is just to help us identify the order. And then do they have a litigation friend? And most of our cases, no, but on occasion they do. If you click yes here, it will take you to a page that gives you the option to put that information in. I'll click continue. Next question is who's representing them? A solicitor, direct access counsel, self-representing, or you don't know. We've included don't know as an option. We realise that for most cases that come to the Supreme Court, they've gone through extensive litigation before. There are representatives involved. However, there are occasions where a party de-instructs between Court of Appeal, Supreme Court, and you may not know. So we're not forcing you to give us information that could be out of date of previous solicitors. But on this occasion, I've selected that a solicitor is representing them. Continue. And the solicitor, as you can see, I've entered myself in as the solicitor, given myself like a promotion. I set up my own little limited liability partnership. Going in, asks for information about me. There's a couple of questions you'll notice here for the personal SRA number and the solicitor firm SRA number. Just to be clear, this is not because we want to start reporting you or checking up you or anything like that. This is to help us avoid duplicate detections in our system. There are, I don't know how many John Smiths in the United Kingdom. A good portion of them are solicitors. We want to make sure that, if someone moves firm, we're tracking the right individual, we can update information and avoid unnecessary duplication and confusing information for us. So that's purely why it's there, and as you'll see, they're both if known, so they're not necessary. And the question is, are they the main solicitors? Are they personally responsible for conduct? I said yes in this occasion. The next option is to, after solicitors are added, you can add multiple solicitors here, as you can see, at least one, a maximum of 5. After you've added solicitors, adding counsel. Generally, again, we know that counsel are instructed by the time we submit your application here, but not always. So counsel is an optional field. You don't have to put them in. If you instruct them later, you can contact us, tell us who they are, and we'll add them to the system, or you can add them now. You click complete, and that's how you add individuals as parties or organisations as parties. Once you're happy that all parties are on, here one appellant, one respondent, I will click complete. And you will see that step 2 has also now gone green. So you're seeing as you progress through, it's giving an update where you are, and you can see what's left. Next is uploading supporting documents. These are documents we require for permission to appeal. As you will see, there are 4 documents that are marked as required and others that are not required. We want your summary grounds, all the information about the appeal, the order you're appealing, and the judgment, but everything else is optional. If there was an anonymity order, you would upload it under other supporting documents. Anything else you felt was relevant at the PTA stage, you could add here. The upload process is quite straightforward. I'm going to upload the judgment in this matter. So I would click on upload. Take to a page here where I should upload. Now it takes you to a landing page first rather than straight to upload, and I'll explain the reason for that in a moment. When I click upload file, you'll see you can upload different versions of a file. You can upload a non-confidential version, a redacted version of a confidential document, or a confidential document. And if it is confidential, either an order of confidentiality has been made, or you're asking us to make that order of confidentiality. If you select this document is uploaded to a separate area of the portal and our case management system, and is kept securely, so it's not viewed through the portal, because if it's important enough to a confidential document, we don't want anybody accidentally viewing from the other side. But I will actually choose the file. Just click on choose file or click in the box there. Standard file search window will come up. I'll find the judgment, in this case is here. Mark it as not confidential. Click upload. It will status bar goes down the bottom. Unless successfully, it takes me back to that page. And this here is summarising all the documents that I've uploaded as the judgment. So if I was uploading a redacted version, that would appear here. So you would click upload file again to upload the redacted version as well as the confidential version if you were doing that. But I'm going to be uploading the single version. It's an uncontroversial document. I'm going to click complete. Takes you back to the main page, and you can see that the 4 mandatory documents are all ticked. You click complete, and now step 3 is great. So now we're on to the most important one. Step 4, making payments. I know this is all your favourite. As I mentioned before, the system works out the fee. So up at the top here, it's telling you what the fee is. I have links to guidance for help with fees if appropriate. You have 2 options now: make or confirm a payment, or apply for help with fees. If you apply for help with fees, it will take you through the help with fees process. And as Laura mentioned earlier, for the purposes of deadlines, etc., we would consider it paid at the point of the application being made and the your application being submitted for both help with fees and the actual PTA application. But if not granted, we then raise payment request later. But in this occasion, I'm going to select make or confirm the payment. They then have 2 options on the next screen: either paying by credit card or telling us a BACS transfer. Again, the fees appearing at the top nice and clearly. The BACS transfer here, we know that still the majority of you users use BACS. However, credit cards are becoming more popular. Whereas at the moment, you would bring up registry and give the information over the phone to member of registry. Here, click select pay by credit or debit card. It will just take you through to a standard online credit card payment screen. You put your information in, make the payment as you would if you were shopping very much. I'm not going to put this on my credit card because I don't think I've got the space on my credit card for £1,390 fee. So I'm going to give details of bank transfer payment that I've already made. Something I should be clear on here: if you're giving details of bank transfer payment, it needs to be one that you have already made, either today or a few days before. You can't, in here, say, I'm going to make a payment next week for this. And when you actually go to payment date, you'll see that you can't select a date in the future. It has to be a payment you have made already. You're telling us, I've made this payment, in the same way you do at the moment with the BACS transfer sheet that we have emailed out to users. So I'm going to say that I've made the payment today. £1,390. Click RBS. These account holder name, payment reference. This is all information that we ask on the current bank transfer fee, and it's to help us with our finance department so they can reconcile the money that goes to our bank account with the relevant case. So I put that I paid it. I click continue. Tick, 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 tick. Thank you. It says that if there's any issues, we'll contact. Suggest taking a screenshot, and then you click complete, and you see all 4 boxes are ready. And at this point, you can click submit. Before I click submit, I'll take you to the exporting copy of the application link. You just click on this, and it takes about 10 seconds or so. What happens is the system looks through all the pages and steps, as you'll see. The PDF is just appeared up in my corner. Tick, 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 tick. That just opens up. All of the information put in appears here. The only thing is in this PDF is the documents that you uploaded, because those are separate documents. This is summarising the form itself. It's slightly blurry because my machine takes a moment to load, but you can see parties' details, chronology of proceedings, all of the information that you would have put on the old Form 1 is here, summarised nicely. And when we issue the version of this form that has a case name with the case ID, is the one that you would serve. This version doesn't have a case name, doesn't have a case ID, because it hasn't been issued by the court yet. I will go back. I will now submit this. Tick, 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 tick. Green box. Filing submitted. Filing's been submitted. Cannot be changed. Go to what happens next. We'll review any questions. We'll be in contact. So you will close this and go back, and you will see here the case status has changed to submitted. You'll see information, when it was created, when it was submitted on. The case status, this is the origin, was it permission to appeal, was it notice of appeal, was it a reference, that all appears here. This area here is the key dates area. Now, at the moment, none of this information is in, but as the case progresses, these fields will fill in. So when we issue, the date of issue will fill in. As you know, when the hearing gets listed, the deadlines for the written cases and the hearing bundle are 8 weeks, 6 weeks, and 4 weeks before. Once the hearing has been fixed, those information points will fill in here. The statement of facts and issues is due 16 weeks after the invitation to list. So when we invite you to list, that starts the clock, and that date will fill in here. When you confirm service, which we'll do in a moment on another case file that I've prepared earlier, the notice of objection due by information will fill in automatically because there's a 14-day count. So we've tried to build this information in on stuff we can to help you as much as possible. Now, just click refresh so that the correspondence can update. You will see this is the first correspondence on this case. Tick, 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 and it just generates when you submit. It's confirmation that the division appeal has been submitted, telling you that we have a 3 to 5 day workaround, confirming that it's not yet been issued, so don't serve until instructed to, and saying you can log in and check the status anytime. But every time something happens, and that's when a new application is filed, or when a new document is uploaded, or when new correspondence is created, or when correspondence is replied to, your registered portal user will get an email telling you that. You can have up to 3 registered portal users per party per case. So you could have, senior partner, outdoor clerk, and then the third one could be used perhaps by council. You can take people on and off. So if at the early stage of the case you don't feel it necessary and you want 2 associates on there and senior partner, you can do that, and then you can buy the managed correspondence button, which I will show you in just a moment. Take the managing case access, You can ask people to be put on and off. It's not an automated process. If you send the message to the registry, you give us the details of who you want added or removed, and then we do that because we just want that extra level of security, peace of mind for both us and for yourselves, that you can't accidentally delete someone. Something else to mention, if you only have one registered user on a case, they cannot delete themselves. The minimum number of people on a case is one. There has to be someone on there able to access and look at it. Something else I would mention, you are free, if you wish, to set up set up an email account of, for example, Supreme Court cases at wildlifelp.com, and use that for all your portal, as one of your registered portal users for all of your cases. If you are involved in a particularly complex litigation, I know, for example, some people who are involved in the Rwanda litigation had Rwanda litigation at relevantfirm.com email addresses set up. That could be used as one of the email addresses for him, as long as the email addresses that are assigned as portal users are monitored regularly and capable of receiving emails. Doesn't actually have to be an individual. We would prefer an individual because it's at least one individual as one of the users on there. But if you additionally want to have a generic one that multiple people at your firm can access, we are quite happy for you to do that, as long as you ensure security at your end, that only authorised people have access to it. What I'm now going to show you very quickly is the service declaration process we discussed earlier when a case has been issued. I'm going to go down to, I think this case here, which is a case that you'll see was submitted earlier, or submitted a week ago. Bond versus Blofeld. As I've mentioned, I have really run out of names for these cases. This is the case that I've issued earlier today. You can see it's issued in progress. We need to do the service declaration. Then click Service Declarations. It's going to confirm service. If there were multiple respondents, each respondent would have their own confirm service button. So if I click Confirm Service, the first option you have is to select the solicitor you served. Now, we are conscious that you're not actually serving the individual solicitor, you're serving the firm, but we need to know someone we can invite, which is why it's been phrased as or the individual, so that they get the invite. We don't want to be sending invitations to the portal to generic email addresses, so that's why we've asked for an individual at the outset. And Barry Allen is the mock solicitor that I used on this particular example. I'm going to say I've served them by email, but whichever method you used, to go confirm. Click continue. This information here, the email address, their name, that pulls through from the information you go through as part of your application. There is an option on the previous page, if you search someone else and tell us, it will ask for fresh information, but 99.9% of the time we're expecting that the person you told us on Monday is the person that you was served on. Sorry, the person you told us on Monday when you put your application in is the person you served on Friday after we issued it. So we ask you to confirm the date of service. So I would say today, confirming here, and then it'll be job title, an optional field necessary. I'm going to declare that yes, I have served it. Click continue. The next screen, and this is the last check. Is there any reason why Barry shouldn't be the person who's invited to the portal? It may be that although you serve Barry has already said to you, Blofeld, thanks, but when you tell the court you served, can you put my colleague Samantha Jones as the contact here? You can tell us, actually, no, please don't invite Barry, invite Samantha. You'd say, Barry has told us, please invite Samantha, and then that would go to registry, and we would then manually invite Samantha as the to set up the account rather than Barry. But on these occasions, I'm going to just say, yes, Barry's the person to invite. Click complete. Click again, turn green, meaning it's been done. So once I've served up everyone, I click submit. Click a refresh and we'll get support correspondence at the moment in just a second. Tick, 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 tick. The correspondence will take just a moment to update. And there we are. So this is a message to you. Confirmation of service is saying, thank you for confirming service. We're now going to contact the respondents. And what the system has done, it has sent out an automatic email out to Barry to say, you can name the respondent on this, it's important. You'll see here, as I mentioned earlier, they have issues to deal with, and because the data service was put in as today, notice of objection due 14 days from today, the 7th of November. I'm going to jump very quickly now to Barry Allen's profile. I'm going to refresh this. Because Barry already has an existing account, change to 10 to 20 because I have a large number of cases of testing in Barry. We will see there, Bond versus Blofeld in there. Barry can go in, to this case, now it's been slow. There we go. And Barry can go, okay, great. File application. I'm going to file my notice of objection. Continue. I'm objecting to application for wish to appeal. Obviously, the other options are there because there are the other things that Barry could object to. Things are all there, so it just tells us what exactly Barry's objecting to. And then Barry goes through a similar process as to the initial application, filling these forms in, making the payment, submitting their application, or their notice of objection, rather. So that's really what we wanted to take you through a very quick canter of how to do the PTA. Any questions? Please type in the chat.
We've got one question in the chat. So, why are there only 3 people on the portal for each case? Often there is a junior and leading counsel, which only leaves 1 place left.
I will be completely honest with you. Cost. Every one of the users costs the court money. And if we would up it beyond 3, we have to start passing on a significant cost to parties, which I really don't want to do. We want to just try, by limiting it to 3, the cost is manageable by the court. If we're going to start going beyond that, it becomes unmanageable with the number of court users we're expecting as time goes on. As I mentioned, you can take people on and off, and it's, for things like lodging of notice, appeal, etc. The objection, that's really going to be done by solicitors in the first instance, normally involved counsel. Yes, written cases, etc., lodged by counsel.
Yeah, I think it's important to note that documents can still be, so written cases, grounds of appeal will be drafted off portal. So a lot of the portal is about administration of the case. And Dan's right to point out cost, but there's also a security factor as well. And everyone who signs up to be on the portal has to be responsible for the security. And we did worry that it might be unwieldy with too many people on each side. And don't forget, we can also have cases with very many parties. But that was the explanation for that. Holly's asked a follow-up question, which is that we'll be able to take other people on or off.
Yes, only on your own side. You'll be able to see who are the registered portal users for both sides, because at the moment, obviously you CC emails to yourself to other sides, representatives. You know who's acting. Similarly here, you can only add and remove yourselves. There isn't a super user as such. As I mentioned earlier, it's a manual process. It's not automated. So the request comes into us in registry asking us to do it. And if we think there's something suspect, we will raise it. but we haven't set levels of portal user all have the same access for each party. Tick, 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 tick.
Thanks, Dan. If anyone has any other questions, please feel free to type that in the chat.
Please do. There's no such thing as a stupid question. I personally have already asked all the stupid questions that have ever existed about portals and service and how people sign up. So please feel free to ask the questions.
Tick.
And
Tick.
it's yeah.
They've got a question around, do the uploaded documents have to be in any specific format, so PDF or Word document?
This is something we cover in the electronic guidance document, and we've originally updated document, and this ties into something else. Actually, we are providing a large number of guidance documents for the portal. A list of the new practitioner rules. We have FAQs. There's going to be video examples. There's going to be detailed written guidance on various parts. These video will be available, as will be other videos that we're going to make guiding through the process. But our preference is PDF documents because they're for file size and they're lots of that. Others can be done on request. The system will allow Word documents, but preference is a PDF because when you switch to a PDF, we know things like track changes and editing will be removed from it. We don't want to see the version history, and we're sure you don't want to see the version history that sometimes gets buried in the metadata of the Word documents. The portal can also accommodate certain image file types. Reason for that, although yourselves would be unlikely to use image files, when a listening person making help with these application, we have worked on the assumption that most likely they're going to be taking a photograph of girls or Universal Credit Estate or similar and uploading via their phone. So we have built the portal to accommodate that. But for legal documents, the default preference is PDF.
Perfect, thanks, Dan. A question from Holly: who would be the best contact with further questions in the future?
I think what we've said is that we really want certainly professional users to go away and digest the information that is out there. And the new rules are out there. The practice directions will follow shortly. We're just finalising those with the justices now. And there will be a very thorough portal practice direction. There's the electronic papers guidance that's coming out. So we ask you to do that first. If you do have more questions, you can contact the registry, and we will offer, if and when it's your first time using the portal, we will offer that bit of extra support, perhaps a call to talk you through if you've got any questions. So that will be available.
Perfect, thank you. Do you have time for one more question?
Okay. How many more have we got?
We've got three more. Let's go on to screen. So we've got one question from Ruth about once a PTA application has been submitted, how long will registry take to issue and provide a notification via the portal that it's been issued? Part one.
Our target is 3 to 5 days.
Let me just be clear on this, that we will hope to be as speedy as we can. We will be running for as long as it takes 2 systems. So please bear with us. So those are the cases that currently filed and we're progressing through the permission to appeal and then appeal stage if permission is granted. And then there'll be all these new portal cases. So we'll be balancing these two. We hope that we'll be quick and able to issue very quickly and update the portal very quickly. Sometimes there'll be a situation where we'll have to go back to parties and say, oh, hang on, you haven't uploaded what we need, and that there might be a bit of to and fro on that, or help with visa application that we need a bit more evidence. But we will be kind of progressing things as quickly as we can. But we do also want to say, like, please bear with us. It will be a new system, and we've all been learning and kind of upgrading ourselves as much as we can. But we are grateful for your patience.
We've got 2 questions around the theme of if the portal isn't working at any reason, are we able to use email? Yeah.
So that's a really good question. So no, we don't want to revert to email. And if you do find yourself slipping back into using email, we will kind of push you back onto the portal. But the good news is that the practice directions allow for, if there's any planned or unplanned, because we know these things happen, portal downtime, then of course there's an automatic extension of time for any deadline that falls while the portal is down, whether it be planned, and we've told you about it in advance, or whether it's unplanned and there's some kind of Microsoft meltdown.
Yeah, in the same way at the moment, if the registry is closed on the day your deadline is, you automatically extend the next day. If the registry is open, it's the same with the portal. Planned or unplanned downtime branch an automatic extension.
Thank you. Will this do away with serving paper copies on court?
The key documents bundle for the hearing will still be in hard copy, but that will be the only hard copy that the court expects. Nothing else in paper.
That's right, and actually, that's the case now. So nothing needs to be filed on except by email. Even at the moment, we don't ask anything in paper.
Question to mentioning extensions if the portal is going through any planned maintenance. What about statutory time which cannot be extended by rules?
You mean when there's a deadline below? No, that's fine. That's still extended by us. So if you can't file it, of course we have to extend time.
Perfect. Last question is, when will a recording be available of this session? How can someone get access to it?
We're planning to get it up on the website next week. But the honest answer is it'll take a couple of days, because I've been given some video editing software to trim the start and end of this meeting, and I just need to figure out how to work it. So next week.
Perfect. Thanks, Dan. That is all the questions in the chat. So thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're really grateful to you all for attending and for being interested and supportive of this change. We're very grateful to you being interested and staying with us on this journey. So thank you.
So just one more question. The website address. The new Supreme Court website, JCP website aren't live yet. They will be live at the beginning of December. The portal will be live beginning of December. However, as Laura mentioned earlier, during the softball we are going at the moment, if you have something that you think might be suitable in the next few minutes before going live, please contact us, and maybe we've got any early access to the portal and help guide you through it as a sort of a soft launch live opportunity.
Please do get in contact before you file your Form 1 on that, because we don't want you to have to double work. So if you have got something that's coming, just get in touch, contact the registry, or contact registrar at supremecourt.uk, or Samuel.waller@supremecourt.uk, because we're really keen to get some cases on the portal on soft launch. The quick pro quo is that we'll be asking lots of questions about how it goes and what additional help you might need. But it means you get an early look and as much support as you might need. So please do stay in touch if you've got anything that you could think of.
Think we have any more questions. So I think we'll say thank you and goodbye. Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.